You know that feeling, right? You're in a conversation, you're sure you're both on the exact same page. And then you find out you've understood things in completely different ways. It's a really common frustration, but it actually points to something much deeper about how we all make sense of the world. So let's get into why this happens. There's this quiet certainty we all have in our own perspective. We hear the words, we see what happens, and the meaning that forms in our own mind, well, it just feels true. It feels correct. The real puzzle is that the person right next to us, hearing and seeing the exact same thing, can walk away with a totally different but equally certain conclusion. And that leads us to the big question. If we're all taking in the same information, why do our understandings so often not line up? We usually blame it on a flaw in communication, but what if it's something way more fundamental than that? To get to an answer, the first thing we have to do is kind of shift our thinking. We tend to believe that understanding is just about successfully receiving information, almost like downloading a file. But another way to look at it is that understanding isn't the information we get, it's what we do with it. So here's the crucial part. Information never lands in a neutral space. It's always filtered and shaped by the completely unique landscape of our inner world. Our hidden assumptions, our entire life's worth of personal experiences, the very language we use to think, and even our emotional state in that moment. They all act like lenses that refract everything we take in. And that brings us to this really powerful idea, understanding as an interference pattern. Just think about ripples in a pond. The incoming information is like one new ripple, but it immediately meets and interacts with all the existing ripples of our own mind, our experiences, our language, our emotions, and all of that together creates a brand new, unique pattern. That pattern is our understanding. This really helps us see why different understandings aren't the exception, they're actually the rule. I mean, since no two people have the exact same set of internal ripples, the same history, emotions, or assumptions, then no two interference patterns can ever be identical. Our understandings are pretty much destined to be different. It's the natural state of things. And this just reframes the entire idea of misunderstanding. We usually see it as a failure, right? A bug in the system that needs to be fixed. But if you look at it through this lens of interference, it's not a failure at all. It's simply a difference. It's not about one person being right and the other being wrong. It's just that their unique internal patterns have produced different but equally valid results. This idea gets even bigger when you scale it up to the level of society. We often assume that our laws, our institutions, our social norms are all built on some bedrock of shared understanding. But what if they aren't? What if they're actually structures designed to help us navigate our constant, unavoidable differences? They're frameworks for managing the overlap, not for forcing us all to be the same. So if we can never achieve perfect alignment, what's the point of communication? What's the point of dialogue? Well, the goal isn't to make your interference pattern identical to mine. That's impossible. Instead, the goal is to tune them. It's a process of adjusting, of finding a kind of resonance, of learning the shape of each other's understanding so we can interact more harmoniously. And this leaves us with a final question to just sit with for a moment. If our individual understandings are always unique, always a little bit different, what is it that truly connects us? What are we actually sharing when we communicate? Maybe it's not some fixed meaning that we share. Maybe it's something else entirely. The relationship itself, the space between us, and the very act of creating these patterns together.